Thank you all very much for joining us today. Before we start with our next topic, I would like to introduce Women Who Code London and Women Who Code as a general global organization. Can everyone hear me okay? Is everything fine? Just drop a message in chat if something is wrong, okay? My name is Tabunshchyk. I am one of the directors here at Women Who Code London. Women Who Code is a global organization that is aiming to support women pursuing technological careers. We do not restrict our events by any criteria, but we do ask our participants to follow our code of conduct. The full version is available at womenwhocode.com/code of conduct, but as I like to put it, TLDR is be nice to each other. And every time I talk about an absolutely brilliant invention of the global community, upload her. If you would like to share your success, you can submit this short information for yourself or for your friend or colleague on the global website. And this short message is going to be shown at the network page, and also some of them go out via email distribution list. And every single time I mention that we are in need of volunteers. So if you would like to get involved with the community, we would be delighted if you could join us. What kind of volunteers do we need? First things first, we do need technical leads who could supervise particular technical directions, help to organize particular events, help with mentorship or like advices on where to find information and so on. We do need evangelists who could help us to promote our brand in the social media. Project managers, it's more for offline events, but also in to some degree for online, who could help to supervise the events from the administrative point of view. And then we always need episodic volunteers, designers. When we go back to offline events, it's going to be help with logistics, registration desks, photographers, videographers, and so on. So if you would like to get involved, please to reach out, and I am going to send this presentation and all of the contacts a few days after this event. Dear women, we need you. Thank you all very much. And now we can proceed to our main presentation, and our speaker today, Galyna Tabunshchyk, who is going to talk about Numpy and Matplotlib. If you have questions, please mention them either in the chat, and we are going to batch them together and ask our speaker to answer them together as the presentation goes, or you can raise your hand in the participants tab in Zoom, and we are going to ask you to unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you all very much. Galyna?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm happy to see faces which already was at the first workshop. And hello once more, and we will proceed now with our workshop. I will share my screen now and share. So, today we are going to talk about Python for data analytics, but we will make special accent on Numpy and Matplotlib. The plan for today, I will repeat about myself. For those who are first time with us, I will remind you how to install packages, and we will go through Numpy and Matplotlib. First, about myself, I am academic. I'm working in academia in National Polytechnic University in Zaporizhia, and I am teaching different courses which are deals with different software aspects. Here on this slide, you can see different links where you can find information about me. So you can find about in LinkedIn. Also, here is my publication. So if you are interested, you could also go through and contact me on the questions. And as I already introduced myself, I want some introduction from you. And let's go to Mentimeter. Where is it? Where is it? Here is it. So the first, just like to try to interact a little. Yes, I suppose that there should be new people, and we could see how it will differs from our first workshop. So 5 people, and how many here? So 20. So let's wait while others will try to. For those who are first time with us, please go to menti.com and there use code where you could vote. Yes. This online tool gives us possibility to interact a little, because communication is not like a video tool. Yes, it's a possibility to communicate. Yes, and to try. So some chat. Okay. This is. So generally, for the purpose of this workshop, I'm very happy because generally it's more deals with Python, but of course we will see in other questions. What are your expectations? Here are your. So this is your why you're attending it, and let's go to the other question. Oh, sorry, it's the other question. So please, the question is, why are you attending? So what are your expectations? I forgot to change the question. The question is, what are your expectations? So today we will talk more about tools in Numpy, yes, and Matplotlib. We will talk more about data analytics and different methods next Thursday. Today we will shortly go through possibilities. So thank you for your answers. Now this gives me opportunity to understand my audience better, and what I will understand what to improve. Maybe I could improve something during the presentation. We will see immediately to stress things. Okay, so thank you. And let's continue with presentation. So the data analysis process consists from 6 main stages. It starts from the problem definition and it finished with the solution, yes, with the implementation. The idea is to create a model of any event or any business process which will help you to improve this business process. And the steps to achieve these results are data extraction, data preparation, data exploration and visualization, predictive modeling, model validation and deployment. And today we will talk about data preparation and data exploration and visualization. These two main so we will talk about these two steps and which will be possible. Data preparation will be with use of Numpy, and data visualization. For this purpose, we will have Matplotlib. And next Thursday, we will talk about pandas and will create predictive models and so next two workshops will be devoted for these two stages, predictive modeling and model validation. This will be next workshops. The main advantage of Python is that it is supported by MIT, yes, and MIT develops and give us numerous of tools which help us to provide to conduct mathematical modeling or conduct our data analysis. The most we will go today with Numpy and Matplotlib, and we will go to pandas and scipy a little, and we will also work at the last workshop. We will work with scikit-learn. Yes, this is scikit-learn. For those who are only attending us today, I want to remind you that we are working with Python 3 and that Python is interpreter. To run your program in Python, you need your interpreter to be installed, and the program I suggest you to use today or Anaconda, yes, with the Jupyter Notebook or PyCharm. These two tools, I will use PyCharm Community to show you examples. But you as well could use a Jupyter Notebook. For those who hadn't installed anything by now, you don't need to be disappointed or like urgently install something. Please, you could go to Jupyter.org and work with Jupyter Notebook online. Here you see Jupyter.org. Here you could try Jupyter Classic Notebook. And let's restart it. Yes. And here you could run your programs. Yes. What we did last time, quickly. Seems connection was lost, really. One moment. I will go through step by step. Here you could see. Yes, so everything is working. I also want to ask you that you will work today. I suppose more will program better. We will work with Google Classroom, and I have noticed that not all entered here. Here we will do 6 tasks. And as I have already discussed with Helen, those who will complete the task during the week, we will do it today, and you will have this time for the next week. You would receive the certificate from Women Who Code that you complete this workshop. So you will have certificate for each workshop. For those who was present at first workshop, I want to apologize that I haven't checked everything yet because I have problem with internet connection. But I suppose from Monday everything will be restored. So for those who hadn't registered yet here, please go to Google Classroom. Then join Classroom, and this is code. Yes.
I have already posted the code.
Yes. Thank you. So, just like it is very difficult to follow you if you are here or not. So that's why we decided that certificates will have those who will complete 75% of the tasks, which is here in Google Classroom. So please, for Google Classroom, I ask you to download. Don't download everything. Generally, Python file will be okay. Or screenshot. This will be also enough. So when you will do, so if you will work with the Jupyter Notebook, please download your files as Python files and download them as your results for the tasks. And or screenshot if it is small. Yes, task is also possible. Any questions? There appeared something. I will check one moment. No, old class. That's why, because there are different people case. So good that you found it. Very nice. So, if you will decide to go through PyCharm, create new project. Yes. Here you could choose your interpreter, which you are using. Yes, and create the project. After you create the project, while it is installing, I will show you. So you will need, so this is what is already pre-installed in your project. To use Matplotlib or Numpy or pandas or scikit-learn further, better to install it. So you go to settings, then go to project interpreter, and then install. I will do it now with you. So install what we need for today, matplot and numpy. And you see, after installation, your project will look quite different. So let's see. File, settings, projects, project interpreter. You see, here is only pip. I want to add matplotlib. I put install package, and I want to add numpy. I add install package, and you could see that they are, you see here is two process running, so they are installing. It's take sometimes with my internet connection. There were some questions. Here you see it's already informed me that numpy was installed successfully. Let's go and see settings. Now I have here numpy. I have here matplotlib, probably still installed. You see matplotlib also now installed. If I will check it, here is it. You see the version and the latest version, installed version and the latest versions. Okay. So we are not working with complicated projects. So generally, I will create Python file, and I will use it for all my examples to make them run faster. So questions, if there is any questions about preparation, where is it? Okay, so about what is question about? I will continue. So today we will talk about NumPy. NumPy is a fundamental package for scientific computing. So generally, mostly all other packages such as pandas and matplot.lib use NumPy, so they are based on NumPy. What is new, considering to the basic types which are realized in Python, is that it has its n-dimensional array object, and already have a lot of functions which you could use for your statistical analysis. The main is, as I already told you, it is a multi-dimensional n-dimensional array. You could always, so this is an object which has its attributes such as shape, the size of the array, size, the number of elements of the array, type, the type of the arrays, and normally all elements of a multidimensional array are the same type. To create a NumPy array, you should first import your NumPy as an object, and then you could apply methods and use attributes to get information about your array. So we import NumPy as an object np, and then we use methods with our object, and as we create our variable, yes, we could also use our methods and attributes with our variables. So array, create array from the list. Your array could have as many dimensions as you need. The type of the element you could learn with the value dtype. And here we create one-dimensional array. Here we create two-dimensional array. And here is also two-dimensional array, but our type is complex. As I already, is the same as at previous workshop. For those who haven't been there, you should know that all examples are working examples. So to check if I'm correct, you could just do copy paste of the program and run the example. Yes, you see here. You could see that the type of elements in our multidimensional array is integer. Or like you could copy on this example and you could see the result that we have a two-dimensional array where each element is complex. Each dimension is a tuple. You see, and separate it with a comma. Let's go further. So let's repeat quickly. So the main advantage of NumPy is that it has its object multidimensional array. It could be dimensions could be as many as you need, and the type of element could be you could learn from the variable dtype. This is all possible data types which are supported by NumPy. So you could see it's great variability which you could use for your calculations. Generally, it is very boring to create your arrays yourself. That's why there are some possibilities to create already arrays not from scratch. So you could create array of zeros. You could create a dimensional array of ones. Here you could see example. Yes, here is created a two-dimensional array 3 to 4 with the type. This is type of items. In our n-dimensional array, also it is possible to create an empty multidimensional array, just like C, that dimensions, it's always the same, is set as tuple and as tuple. Here you see we create three-dimensional array of ones. This is first dimension, second and third dimension, and we set the type of our items. Also, here is possibility to create multidimensional array of random values. So if you need here multidimensional array, the same as before, you put the tuple where you put the size of each dimension. This random returns you float values from the interval from 0 to 1. Like, for example, in the example. There are other possibilities to create your multidimensional array. So first, you could use a range and it creates you a range. So I lost my mouse. So a range. This creates you array, start value, end value, and step. So, for example, look here. If we create, so from 10 to 30 with step 5, here you will see the result. If we create from 8 to 32 with step 4 float values, you see the result. There are two other possibilities. The first one is linspace, which divide your interval. So this is interval into values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see? and in linear way, linspace and logspace divide you on logarithmic scale. The same on your 3 intervals, yes, 3 values. So, summarize. We could, with the help of methods of Numpy library, yes, we could create our multidimensional arrays in numerous ways. So we could create them manually from the list. We could create it the array of zeros, of ones, of random values. We could create them with the 3 different functions from on interval from start value to the end value. The next, as I already told, the main idea was when they created Matplotlib is to realize mathematical operations, yes, and to help mathematicians to solve, to provide them easy tool, yes, for their calculations. So, but you should be very attentive that despite this fact, all elements are element-wise. So, like here in example, if you have to erase one-dimensional A and B, and you want to plus them, so it will not be mathematical operations. It will be element-wise operation. For example, you could see how it is realized. Generally, if you will at this slide, you could see example. So on the right side, this is how to do it with lists, these element-wise operations with lists in Python, pure Python, and this is like multiplication. So the result will be the same. We could try if you want to check. Yes. So let's see. So what we have? We have 2 NumPy arrays, and we are doing, so you see the result here. So the result is the same. We have 2 arrays, and we are doing multiplication. Here we are using a zip function, and with NumPy we're just using multiplication, and it returns us a new NumPy array. Of course, the NumPy library contains possibility for matrix operation. You see, so matrix operation is different than element-wise operations. And for this, for example, for multiplication, you are using you are using dot function, yes? So to make In this case, it will be element-wise multiplication, and when you use dot, it will be matrix operation. So this you should keep in mind, that all operations are realized to use as element-wise. To realize matrix operation, you should use special functions, which really realized in Numpy library. You could return here, and you can see the results here. So generally, we have our Numpy array. Yes, this we create from list. Here we create element, you see, for 4 elements from 0 to 3. And when we sub, we are doing this element wise. If we are power, it is also done element wise. If we apply sinus function, it is done element wise. And if we use compare operation, it is also done element wise. Next, as I already told you, that the advantage it is that NumPy object, it is multi-dimensional array. So this means that you could apply methods which realized in the NumPy library along the axis. Then you just put which axis you are using, yes, 0 or 1. So, where is it? You could always use it in the method, something like min or kusum. You could look further, or you could use a separate method apply along axis. So what we are doing here, so this method allow you to use function along the axis and this is our input data. Generally, you see here is calculated mean for your, and here is, but I suppose it was taken other data, not this one. The mean value was calculated for the column and for the rows. You could see that you could use this axis when you use other functions. For example, when you use sum, this will be calculated sum for all elements of your NumPy array. Like the same, here I will return the minimum value of all array, and this will return the maximum value of all array. But if you want to calculate the sum of each column, you could put as argument to your function that sums should be taken along axis 0. If you want to calculate for each rows, you should put that your function should be calculated along the axis for each rows. Yes, so this is also possibilities. Generally, mostly all functions of the library have this argument axis. Yes, this is x, this is keyword, which allows you to set along which axis you want to apply your function. Yes, so minimum, cusum, and etc. Any questions by now? Seems silent, so no. Okay, let's go further. Indexing, slicing, and iterating. So everything what you could do with lists in Python, you could do normally with your arrays in NumPy. So you could get access to the element. You could get access to your element by index. The same as with list. They could be positive and negative. There are questions? Assignment could be done so you need to upload Python file. So for me, it's no difference which ID you're using. So I will continue. Sorry, I thought the question is about the material. So you could index. Sorry. For example, for two-dimensional array, you put index separated by comma. Yes, you see here. So this is zero row, first row, second row. This is 0 column, first column, second column. There is possibility if you create a one-dimensional array or two-dimensional array to reshape it like here, for example. It was created one-dimensional array from 10 to 19. And then this array was reshaped into two-dimensional array. Yes, so this is the size of the first dimension, and this is the size of the second dimension. And then you could get access to your element, giving item index of the row and index of the column. Let's see examples like here. One moment. So if we create a one-dimensional array, and iterate it by element, so if you print array, you will see it will be printed as an object. If you iterate it by element, it will show you by element. If you have a multi-dimensional array, you could iterate it by rows. For example, here you see, and each row is a separate array. And if you want to iterate it by element, you use flat, which gives you this one by one, yes, like a one-dimensional array, and then you are iterated each element, your multi-dimensional array, as one-dimensional array. Yes, so this is possibility. This is how it looks like. Slicing is completely the same as with lists. Yes, so you show the beginning, start, and step. So let's look here. We create our array. Then we want to list it from the first Don't remember that we start index from 0. From the first to the 5th element, we select each second element. Yes, we have step 2. This is like we're going from the 0 element to the 5th element. It's why the same. Yes, and here is step. This is our step, and there is no special step, so it's take each element one by one. When we are working with our multidimensional array, yes, we have 2 items separated by comma. This is indexes for rows and this is for column. So I want to select 0 row, all columns. Here you see the results. Yes, here is vice versa. I want, so this is, we selected. In the second task, I want to select all rows for the first column. Yes, I selected this and here is the result. Yes, here I put that I want to select first 2 column and first 2 rows. That's why, let me change the color. Yes, 130. That's why we have this result. And here, it's a little for the last one. It is somewhat different. I want, here you see, it's not 2 dots, it's comma inside. So I select this and this, not interval. So I select 0 row and second row. You see? And then I have this result. We already discussed that we could reshape our arrays. Yes, so we could learn how many dimensions there are. If we wanted to switch from multi-dimensional to one-dimensional array, we have function rival. If we want to reshape it from one size into another, we could use reshape or resize. And if we want to transpose your matrix, then you can use value t. So all possible manipulations. And also we could, as we already discussed, with our multidimensional arrays, we could use different functions. And also we could use our own functions. So here is example. I have my function foo, and it's double each value. In the example, I apply these methods for my elements in the matrix, and you can see the result. And the final, I suppose, for NumPy. Also, as already I showed you on the this is with the example of one-dimensional array. You could go it through multi-dimensional array. We could use our operation of comparison. Yes, to create Boolean array, or to select values according to our task. So, before we go further, let's go to the Google Classroom and try to solve tasks. We will quickly look one by one. So the first task is to create a random one-dimensional array of 54 elements with 3 different methods, and then reshape it into two-dimensional array. So please, I'm waiting for your questions or solutions. So still nobody. Created. So, for example, I already finished with the first task. I was doing it with you. Let's go to my screen. Share. Here you see this is all first task. This is my solution. You could be different. So first I ask you to create one-dimensional array with 54 elements in it. I use it now like a range Yes, here is first result. And then I use random values 54, and the third type I used I created the array of the zeros, and I reshape the last one of the zeros into two-dimensional arrays with the size of dimension 6 and 9. So still no one uploaded. Task 1. You could do it as me, or you could use other. For example, I can put it for you to the chat. For example, like this, you could try. Oh, not sorry, I put privately. I want to everyone. It could be done this way. Or any other. Nobody wants to work. We should. There are 5 tasks. Look, please, for those who joined later, we are using other. So we decided that certificate we will proceed certificate for each workshop separately, and for those who done 75% of the tasks. As the Google Classroom has a limited possibilities for the group creating of your groups, so that's why I created separate classroom for today, and this is access for this classroom. If you hadn't read it, so this is the code, and now I'm talking about already 2 persons. It's good. Let's see. Okay, you are putting the size of the, so you're printing, okay, you're printing both the size and reshape. So perfect. And how you, okay, you created, yes, you see, there is 4th approach to create empty array, also possible, why not? Something new. Also nice, yes. Use 54 values for your array in this range. Very good. This is other possibility, the 5th possibility. Anyone else? So you already saw 5 different possibilities for creation new array. That's good. Okay, it works. I'm happy. It's the same as mine. I'll put like this, if you will. Non-disappoint and something new. Solution. Very good. So this is also possible. Yes, I told you that you upload a screenshot for me. Okay. Very good. So let's go to the second task and see what we should do there. I would check other task 2. And this is a little more complicated. Now you should create two-dimensional array with random values and then calculate sum in rows and average in column. In presentation, there are already examples, so there are solutions of this task. So I will not show you now because you have solution now. Please look at the slides. You see here is also my presentation is here. You could all have my only in this presentation only absent my Mentimeters questionnaires. Everything else is there. So second task is to calculate functions along the axis. Please try. Three and 4 I will left you for home tasks. Okay. Let's go through the second so that I could see that you understand how to apply along the axis. So already one solution correct is here. Let's see. So you could see, you could do also in Jupyter if you hadn't installed anything, and then work with online, it's not a problem. So you create a random array, and then you use apply along axis, and here you see there was created a random array, and then there was calculated sum and average. So great solution. And let's go to task 3. To do the task 3, I suggest to you to create your function which will normalize your matrix and apply this function to your two-dimensional array. What you will need it to normalizing. The second, it's the same. So in Numpy already exists functions which helps you to go with basic statistics. So it returns your minimum value, maximum value. Nonce, it is non-correct values, yes, or missing values. It gives you, for example, for normalization, you could use this function which give you a range, yes, of your values. Also, you have possibility to calculate percentiles. Generally, they are from 0 to 100. To calculate quantile along the axis. Also, it is possible to calculate median value, average value, mean, standard deviation, and variance for specific axis. And let's calculate correlation coefficient, Pearson. So Pearson coefficient, it returns you the value from -1 to +1, which show you direct or reverse linear relations between two arrays. And you could also calculate for you covariance matrix. Let's look at example. It's also working. I will copy paste it for you and go through it. So what we have here is, first we create a random array. Yes, this is our sample for statistics. And then we create a range, and then we create median value, mean value, and average value for our sample. And we could create standard deviation and variance. So this is basic how we could easily calculate basic statistics with our NumPy library. We could do the same with pandas and scikit-learn, but generally NumPy is quite enough to provide this first statistical data analysis. So to normalize your value, yes, you need your range, your minimum value or maximum value, and then you could normalize your matrix for task 3. And also very important for data analysis is that we don't need to generate data. There are a lot of big data already in the web which are waiting when we could use it for our analysis. And in NumPy, we have possibilities to save our data and load data into our objects, to save data in binary files. We use the method save. Yes, here we put data which we want to save, and this is file name. And the same we could load from the file into our object. This is the next, the 5th task. What I ask you to do is to create CSV file. You could do it in Excel, which contains ID and 3 values column. And you could download your CSV file with the usage of methods generate from txt. Please, when you will save your text data, if you will use commas, then you should put as delimiter commas. If spaces, you should put spaces. And here is that we have the names of our column. It is true. The function generate from txt file, download text file, data from text file into our NumPy object, and further you could work with it. This you will need for the task 5. So please try this first part. So we will go to Matplotlib further, but please try first this, just like create So what you need, you should open your office. generate here. A random file and file save as, for example, I want let it be a book, but it should be CSV, comma, delimited file. So this is easier for you to make less example. Save. Next, you should download your data and print it with the file. What is? Yes, a text file and use and save it. So any notepad or any text editor, just save it as CSV. You could use commas as a delimiter or spaces or anything. You know, like Excel just give you more convenient way that you will not make mistake creating this file. So I already managed to do it. I hope you could do it too. I will show you result, please. So this is all code. The only problem which you could meet, yes, so look, this is, we're using data generated from file. Don't forget to put your path to your file. In my case, I have commas delimiters, and I told that I have named in the first row. So first it was printed You see complete array, and here already one by one each row was printed separately. So this is because you will need to work with it for your histograms for the task 5. So the only difference from the presentation is that you should put your concrete path to your file. So let's go further. Let's see what you have understand and remember from this presentation. So go to Mentimeter. This is the code. I will go to Mentimeter 2 and let's see. We don't need introduction. We want NumPy. And let's go. So the person still alive. My congratulations for 5. Happy to see you. You are great. You survived already half an hour. So in Mentimeter, if you first time meet it, the faster you answer, more score you received. So ready, steady, go. Why? Why it's not just a moment? Don't understand. Okay. If this statement that in Python on variables are objects true or false. Great. Yes, in Python, all variables are objects. And we have our leadership. Let's go further. You should select a wrong statement. Be attentive. Correct answer is that size is not flexible. You set the size in the beginning. You could reshape, but size of the NumPy array are not flexible. Let's go further. It doesn't create new array. perfect result. Our leader is the fastest and much ahead of others. Please look at the slicing and what will be the result. Ay, ay, ay. So please look, it was second row, all columns. This is correct answer. And how to return transposed array. Perfect. So we have a new leader, and our congratulations for the winner of this quiz. And let's continue now. We still have half an hour to go through Matplotlib. So Matplotlib is a numerical mathematical extension of NumPy, and it helps us to create a simple graphical element which you could export in numerous of graphical formats. First of all, you should install Matplotlib, and then you should import it into your program. The architecture. So the diagram of the Matplotlib contains of 3 layers. The lowest layer is the backend. It contains the basic elements such as canvas, renderer, events handlers. The second layer is artist layers. It contains primitives and the objects which are basics for your graphics, for your lines. And the main element of your figure is of the Matplotlib is figure, and it's the object of the higher level. And then it is include axes, and each axis is also an object which has its properties and functions. The most important for you is scripting layer. At this scripting layer, you could create your new graphs for your mathematical analysis. And there are 2 possibilities to use PyLab or PyPlot. PyLab already combines functionality of PyPlot with NumPy, and you don't need to import NumPy. We will work with PyPlot further and that's why we will need to import also NumPy package as well. So here is the easiest example of the simple plot. let's look. In NumPy, this is NumPy already realized basic mathematical functions. So, if you want to create a simple plot which will show you this function, you need to go through the following steps. First, import NumPy. Second, import pyplot as PLT object. And first of all, we create our NumPy array. We calculate our function. And we create plot. Plot, create plot. But to show plot, you need function show. Let's go through it. So this is our windows, which where we could see our plot. This is the name of, so what we could see here, this is the name of the window. This is our plot. This is our axis. Here you see. We could zoom our plot. We could reset it to original size. We could save our figure. You could see in the available formats. So this is for a subplot. We will look at it further. So very easy and very comfortable. The main function which is using for the plot is plot function, where you could put your values for your axes and put the style of your line. Also, your object has, you could see, different functions to set the values for axis, the title of the plot. You see here is result that you have the title of the plot. I will not show you, and your types of your elements on the plot is red dots. So to put this format line, you could use these markers. So you could, this is the first element is marker for the element on your figure. Then you put the style for your line, and the final is color. Let's see, like in this example, we have we manipulate with our plot. So what we want? So we have 3 functions on one plot. Yes, you see 3 functions on one plot, and each function has with different color and different style of the line. I just want to show you that all examples are available. So yes, here is, and let's go like this way. Yeah. Return to original size. Save our figure. Sometimes, so on previous example, our plot, our functions was located on the same plot, but sometimes you need to locate it on separate plots and to understand how it is. How it looks like. So generally for this purpose, you could use the function subplot, which allows you to allocate on one figure several plots from 2 to several. And the easiest one is to use like something like these 2 plots. Yes, you could see that function subplot has 3 arguments. First argument defines how many parts the figure splits into vertical. The second defines how many parts the figure is divided into horizontal. And the third selects the current subplot on which you direct comments. So let's see an example. And here you see, this is our figure, and we have 2 subplots. So here we could change it, for example, like 2, 1, 2, 1, and see the result. You see, now our subplot is relocated horizontally, so vertically, and generally these 3 values could be separated with commas. So this also should be okay. Additionally to these simple graphs, so which create your line plot, you could create a lot of different plots with Matplotlib, like histograms, box plot, scatters, bars, PyPlot. And here you can see examples. So the first example is a histogram, yes, which show you frequency on the vertical axis, and there you can on the horizontal axis you see the bins, and each bins has the minimum and maximum value, and the frequency is located on the other axis. So what is nice with this function histogram that you see, so it when you generate your sample of random values, you could divide it into a histogram, and you could further use these values, the number of elements, number of bins, and patches for further calculations if you need it. Yes, and you have this histogram. Don't forget that to show result, you need the function show. The other very useful graph is bar. It's the same like histogram, but normally it is used for categorical values. You see, this is index, this is your categories. And this is the frequency, yes, what you have on this axis. This is your bar graph. Additionally to the format string, you could use quarks. This is keyword arguments, which also can help you. So this is a string with properties. And here is on this slide, you could see all properties you need, because further in the graphs we will use this string to set our properties for the graphs. For example, here you could see that we relocate our horizontal bar chart, yes, and we put here, you see, our properties. We put colors, we put size of the elements. We also, so what we add, yes, we also add here standard deviation, yes, you see, here is it. So it shows us standard deviation. And we put a label for our graph. It is additionally title for our horizontal bar. It is possible to make a multi-serial bar chart. This is case when you need to compare the same values, so for the same category, different values, like in this example. And it is very comfortable if you can set different colors, yes, here, for each value. Also a possibility to make this multi-serial stacked bar chart. You see it when you in one bar put all values. It's also helpful for analysis, and a very popular pie chart, which give you other view of your data. So I just want to repeat, for this different graphs, we use different functions. Histogram, yes. But to show your plot, you always use method show. Yes, it should be, it makes your plot visible. Each plot has values, has labels, has colors. Yes, or you can put this string of values. It's also possible for rich function. You could set axes, title, labels. This is also possible for every chart. So this is possibility to visualize your data. For some scientific visualization, it is very important to make this contour plot. Yes, but here don't forget that for the third axis you need function, yes, to calculate, you need it for your calculations. Or also it is possible to make 3D surfaces, but for this you need to install another library to import. And I want to show you one more possibility of PyCharm. If I will run now, it will give me error. It should give me error. No, it shouldn't. Okay, so we could rotate our shape, yes, return. Original view. It doesn't want to return to original view. Okay. Or maybe it's too slow in my case. So to make these three-dimensional surfaces, you need to import matplot 3D and use plot surface for it. Everything else still remains the same. So let's summarize information about matplotlib. We still have 5 minutes. Happy to see 2, 4, 5, 7. So thank you for you to be here with me all this time. 8. We lose some people, it seems. The previous quiz there was 14%, 9, 11. Great. So 1, 2, 3, and continue. Which layer doesn't exist? Front end doesn't exist. It's scripting layer. And we have first leaders. What package hadn't exist? Yes, PLT is not a package. And our leaderboard changing. It's become more intrigue here. Which method do plot visible? Perfect. So look, this was an example, and it's very. So first it's bar. The second is not very visible, but you did perfect work. So Good. So, our congratulations for the winner. I'm very happy that you stay with me, that 10% survived by the end of this workshop. Don't forget that there will be in this task 5, you need to, in the end, to create a bar, histogram, and pie chart with the data you download from the file. It could be better if you will download your file too, so that I could check if everything is done. And next week, I will check by next Wednesday. I will check your tasks. If you could ask questions, I will try to answer you. I tried to answer it all previous week, but I really had problem with the net. So I will try to answer your questions here. I'm finishing. Helen, are you here?
Yep.
So I'm stopping sharing my screen and
thank you very much, Galyna, for such a brilliant presentation. It has been fun, really fun. I especially like those questionnaires and the aliases that the system puts in.
something completely lost from someone. this alias makes me nervous in when I saw. Yeah.
This has been really sweet. As usual, I would like to remind everyone that we have a Slack workspace, and you are more than welcome to join it and ask and discuss questions that you might have there, or you could reach directly to Galyna via Google Classroom or to me. We are happy to help you.
Hi. It's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is from the presentation, Basic Statistics with NumPy. There is a method Amax. In that there are arguments. In the list of arguments, there is a comma in the first argument. Could you please explain what it does?
One moment. You wanted which slide? Can you tell me the number of the slide? It would be easier.
38. It is the first sheet of the Basic Statistics with NumPy.
38. Okay. It's and what
Amax,
function?
for example, Amax in the list of parameters, say comma, axis, comma, out, keep dims initial where. What is the first argument comma does?
Please. So this means that obligatory argument is first data A. All others arguments which are in brackets, they are not obligatory.
Okay,
it depends if you need them. Yes, for example, like the second axis, if you want to apply this function according to the axis and etc.
Okay.
So
Sure, I got it. Okay, thank you. Basically, I'm just new to this. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. So have a nice evening. Here is mostly midnight again, and bye to everyone. I hope to see you next week.
Thank you all. Have a nice evening and see you next week.